Okay. Hello, my friends. Can you hear me? All right. Here we are at the Nate Muri live stream here on Monday noontime. Yeah, I'm a little bit out of breath because I was rocketing up and down the stairs here for just a moment, thinking it's almost 12 noon. So let me just take a deep breath while we wait for some people to chime in. Oh, yeah. Here we are. Oh, yeah. So, let me know, guys, where are you viewing from? What is on your mind? What is the weather like there? What are prices of things like where you are? Let's see, let's communicate like that, because I know a lot of you guys are viewing from all over the place, and this is awesome. And I say this during all the lives, but man, what a time to be alive, in the sense that this Star Wars type, almost alien technology that we have to just be here right now in a worldwide scale. I mean, all of you are wherever you are in Australia or in Croatia. Zahendra Kenwood, hi from Croatia in the house. Pritham says, love and light from BC, Canada. So see, we got people from all over the place. And that's what I love about this kind of thing. And that's why I just keep showing up. And I will just keep showing up for you guys, because this is really important to me. So hello, Ursula, joining you in that breath. Yes, yes, yes. Man, I'm already missing the cold training. I mean, seriously, I'm missing the cold training. I'm missing the heat training. I'm missing the breathing. I mean, fall time. Fall is just such a wonderful time. Oh, man. So, but I know it's too premature, so we're not even really going to talk about that yet, because we haven't even hit summer yet. Remember, guys, it's not even summer. Voltage Nut says, hello from Serbia. All right, Serbia is here. Sky Brap says, hello from the Southern Oregon mountains. Weather is amazing. Going to be a great day. That is correct, Sky, my friend. Southern Oregon. Yes. Boy, I love the whole weather range of I still consider that the Pacific Northwest. So I lived in southern Humboldt County, which is just sort of right on the tail of that. And the climate and just the wilderness, the wild of the area is still so magnificent. There's an energy there that is just, I've been all over the world, to so many different parts of the world, and I've never experienced an energy like I do around the redwoods, essentially. We can limit it to the redwoods. I mean, just because the climate that is required and the life that is in the redwoods is just unbelievable. You know that in the redwood forest, there is more living material acre for acre than there is in the Amazon rainforest? I know, that's hard to comprehend. It's tied up in the trees and the mycelial network of the roots underneath. But acre for acre, there's more living material than anywhere on the planet. So, Vera Witch Lady says, Belgium, first 30 degrees coming this weekend. All right, so I assume that you mean 30 degrees Celsius, which would be about, hang on, give me a second. For my international friends, we got to see, because I'm also very interested to see. Anyone know off the top of their head what 30 C to F is? 30 C to F. Okay, so that's going to be 86. Okay, 86. Yeah, that's pretty. Man, it has been blazing hot and bone dry here. So this is not a good growing season for us. This is really not a good growing season for us so far. But we just have to roll with it. So I'm making a new video on my Garden Like a Viking channel about what you can do in the blazing heat. So stay tuned to that one. So let's see. Ursula says 80. Yeah, almost 86. So Ryan Spencer, hello from Plymouth, UK. Quick question. What inline water filter would you recommend? Hate the thought of my kids drinking God knows what. Yeah, I know. Definitely. And they're putting all kinds of stuff in the water to kill the microorganisms. And besides what you feel about fluoride, it being a calcifying to the pineal gland, and being all the things that it can do to the mentality and the state of mind, all of this, and the chlorine, aside from that, for sure what is happening is that the stuff put in there to kill stuff is not good for us to be consuming, because we are flooded with, we are dependent upon the microorganisms that exist within our gut. Listen, I know that this sounds totally out of this world, far-fetched. Shut your phone off, please. I know that this sounds totally out of this world, far-fetched, but can you take a guess? Some of you will know this already. Can you take a guess at how many microorganism cells we have inside of us? I'll just give you a second to guess. Just take a guess. How many microorganism cells do we have inside of us? So, but first, before we do that, let me, and I know some of you have heard this, but just listen again because this is so great and mind-blowing. So, how long ago was it a million seconds? How long ago was it a million seconds? It was 11 days, okay? How long ago was it a billion seconds ago? Okay? How long ago was it a billion seconds ago? A billion seconds ago, the year was 1991 now. 1991 now. Yes. So if a billion seconds ago it was 1991, how long ago was it a trillion seconds? The year was 29,000 BC. A trillion seconds ago. That is how much more a trillion is than a million, which is only 11 days. A trillion is 32,000 years. And some change. So yeah, a trillion is really hard for the human mind to comprehend, okay? It's totally, we don't have that because that's not relative to our existence. Comprehending those kind of numbers we lose comprehension of it because that's historically through evolution or whatever it is, through our history, we haven't had to comprehend numbers like that in any meaningful, significant way. So for us, it just, okay, so it's just a number with a bunch of zeros. But when you think of that, that is insane, okay? So what are some other things that we can count in trillions? Well, the number of galaxies in the universe that we know of, that we can calculate with instruments and stuff like that. Trillions of galaxies, not just stars or planets, but galaxies, each one with billions, hundreds of billions of stars and planets. To really comprehend that is just, you can't. It just leaves you speechless. So what is another thing that can leave that we count in trillions? The number of microorganisms within us, my friend. Between 50 and 100 trillion microorganisms exist within our gut system. Let that sink in, okay? We actually have more microorganism cells within this organism than we do human cells. You understand what I'm saying? We have more microorganism cells within our gut than we do organ cells, bone cells, skin cells, blood cells, all of that. It is totally off the charts how important microorganisms are to our not only survival, but to our thrival, okay? Because surviving is one thing, but thriving is something else entirely. And it is known now by science, even though the ancients already knew this when I was in India for all these years, and these sadhus, these holy men that have devoted their entire life to multiple lifetimes to the pursuit of liberation, and they knew already that the living beings within, because each one of those is a living being, each 100 trillion microorganisms is a living being with its own thought of survival, maybe not thought, but its own instinct, its own life force energy. And so they knew back then that those microorganisms are absolutely critical to our thrival, to our thriving, because, and now science is coming up and illustrating this, that yes, the serotonin, the feel-good hormones are produced in the gut, guys. The feel-good hormones are produced in the gut, or not produced, as is the case a lot of times now, because we are killing the microorganisms that exist within our guts by drinking chlorinated water and fluoride and eating chemical-laden foods with preservatives in them, which preservatives are designed to kill microorganisms. All of this stuff, it all comes together. So let me get to some of these comments here. Zahendra says, very rainy season here in Croatia. Man, that would be so nice. Chadwick started the master cleanse yesterday. All right, my friend. So you are in the thick of it here today, tomorrow, maybe the next day, but then it gets easier. Is this your first one, Chadwick? And did you watch all the videos? Because you want to make sure you do that. So Sharon, we really need the rain in Evansville. Oh, man, yeah. Oh, you're in Indiana, too. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we definitely need the rain. But I was watching, how many of you guys know of Ryan Hall, y'all? That's his YouTube channel. He is a better source of weather information than anywhere else, period. End of sentence. So he has been more accurate in predicting weather and sort of explaining what's happening, and it's very engaging. I mean, he's got a lot of followers and stuff, but it's very engaging type videos. It's not just him reading the weather, blah, blah, blah. Then it's going to be sunny, and then it's going to be hot, and then 50-50 chance. I don't know. Either it rains or it doesn't. No, it's way... So, Ryan Hall, y'all, you can check it out. And he was explaining, watch the video he made, it's probably a couple weeks ago now, about El Nino and the effect of the... Okay, Freebird, you watch Ryan Hall, y'all. I love saying that name. He's Southern, obviously. So... he's explaining El Nino and what that means with the Pacific and the currents and everything like that, and what that means for us. And so, unfortunately for us, we are going to be in for several years like this. Last year was already like this. So this year, and they're saying like 2 to 3 more years, of this kind of weather pattern, which would just be unfortunate. It would just be unfortunate. So, yeah, you can check that out. He explains it really well. I'm not even going to try to get into it, to explaining that. But let's see here. Stuart De La Mar. Where is that flag? Is that Spain? I can't hardly see on this. Where are you from, Stuart? PA says, yo, Val, did you sharpen your battle axe? I'm waiting on my longboat to row out with you and raid this Viking to recover your loss. All right. Nice. That's what I like to hear. Vera Witch Lady says, we wouldn't exist without our microbiome. Absolutely true. We would not exist without it because we are, in fact, more microorganism than we are human. Yes. And even more sort of illustration of how we are a mass of different programs functioning together at the same time. We are more of a community than an entity. We are an entity in so much as the United States is an entity, yes, but actually it's states divided, but then actually it's just people. It's just people, like every other country that we deem to be different in the world. It's just people, neighbors, brothers and sisters. And in a similar sort of way, as I'm trying to come up with an analogy, but you get what I'm saying, that we're not one single entity. We are just a conglomeration of all these processes and these different life force energies. And what I'm calling life force is what animates every one of those 100 trillion microorganisms that contain within us. Something is animating them, a force. You can call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But the force is real, and it is there, and it is everywhere. So, Val says, used to drought conditions here in the high desert of Arizona. Yeah, and that's the thing. If you are from a place that consistently gets droughts, or like the desert, or like Northern California, and I assume Oregon is the same sort of way, where it has a rainy season for 6 months, rains nonstop, and then for 6 months it's bone dry, does not rain one time, and everything turns brown. So that is its own thing, and that isn't because you plan for it. You say, okay, I know there's not going to be any rain all summer, so you plan for it. You capture rainwater in the rainy season, and you develop the little springs to capture more rainwater. And you plan for it. When you plant your crops, you know that you have to irrigate with drip lines or something, preferably drip lines. You know you have to irrigate. Otherwise, if you don't irrigate, nothing's growing. So you go into that knowing these things already. And it's much easier than here, for example, in Indiana, northern Indiana. Typically, we wouldn't usually have to irrigate our crops. I mean, historically, it rains once, twice a week here. It's not like Louisiana stuff where there's a little rain every day, or Thailand where stuff like that. The tropics, of course, but it's still, there was enough that you didn't have to set up drip lines and all that kind of stuff in order to have crops. But we're coming into a point where I'm just going, and I told myself I was going to do this last year, but I didn't. I said, look, I'm just going to treat this like I'm back in Northern California, where as far as we're in a desert during the summertime, because it's just bone dry and blazing hot. So you need to set up drip lines and stuff. But of course, I didn't do any of that. So, yeah. Let's see here. Ursula says, I'm having crazy allergies this season. I'm using local raw honey and bee pollen, neti pots, loads of fresh ginger, and starting a nettle infusion regime today to help support my liver. Well, that sounds, you're pretty much hitting it. Never had it be so intense before. Tips for sinus health. Okay, so guys, give Ursula some tips for sinus health. She's having crazy allergies this season. She's already using the local raw honey and bee pollen, neti pots, loads of fresh ginger, and starting a nettle infusion. So, you're already pretty much doing most of the things. I would say that probably cold training and hot training is going to help. And the breathing exercises above all else will help. The breathing exercise. Are you doing them every day? Probably not. But if you are, then that's really going to help, because you're supercharging the blood with the oxygen. And so, stoke the fire inside, the internal fire, yes. And that is going to help you. And then consciously direct the energies. You can do this with a little bit of practice. If people are not accustomed to this practice, this might sound far-fetched, but after you oxygenate the blood, and after you train yourself with enough time and practice, you can manipulate where the energy, the life force, the vibrating, the electrical feeling, you can manipulate where that goes. You can direct where that goes and what it does to an extent. And so doing the breathing, electrifying the whole organism and all those 100 trillion cells, calling them into action and releasing all the hormones, that is super important, because then you direct it to calm down the immune system, to calm down the inflammatory response, because your body thinks that, I'm talking to Ursula with the allergies, your body thinks it's being attacked more than it needs to be, or more than it is. And so it's all these inflammatory responses trying to combat this. But if you can call up the greatest power of all, the life force, then you can tell it all to settle down. So, okay, yeah, good. Look, we're getting some comments here from people. So that's really good. As far as, let's see here. Successful garden design. What's up, Rachel? Says, at Ursula, you may already be doing this, but for me, I've had to avoid all dairy or I get very bad sinuses. Is that even raw dairy? Even with raw dairy? I would be surprised if that's the case. Are you getting true raw dairy, Rachel? Ursula says, yes, I am dairy-free since the cleanse 1 month ago, with the exception of raw yogurt. Yes. So when we all did the cleanse about a month ago, Ursula has not had dairy since then. Ben Hudson said, Ursula, some might not like this, but ivermectin. Okay. Yes. Ooh, can we even say that? Should I not have even said that out loud? Is that like a curse word now? Printer Bear, hello, my friend. Vera Witch Lady says, at Ursula, most often some kind of trauma lays in the origin of allergies. I used to not go out in May and June, but after trauma resolving and Nate, I have no symptoms anymore. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. Even though you misspelled my name, I assume that you're talking about me. I'll just pretend like you are. Thank you. This is very wonderful to hear that you're getting benefit from everything that you're doing, all the practices, the cleanse, all of that. I mean, when we do the practices, guys, and I'm talking about so many of them, is that you can't help but feel the results. You can't help but feel the results of these things, of the meditations, of the breathing exercises, of the cold training, of the hot training, and of the eating the life force food, of growing your own stuff full of minerals and vitamins. Stuart De Lamar says, it's paradise to me, expensive to live here, even if you're local, but best milk in the world. Oh, man. Where was it? Let's see here. Let me see. I want to see where you said that it was. Maggie Smith says, take some antioxidants and anti-inflammatory. Ooh, I would be careful with that unless you absolutely have to, my friends. You want the body to be doing that for you. And you want to learn, if you take something, a Benadryl or something, a Claritin, then you're not training the body. I know it's much easier to do that, but you're not training the body to do it itself. You're not learning to manipulate the energies. You're not discovering the practices, the breathing exercise, the cold training, the hot training, the eating the raw beef liver and or raw milk and all kinds of good stuff, all sorts of practices. You're not discovering what lies deeper than all of that. If you just take something for it. Unless, of course, it gets to a point where it's unbearable, then, of course, modern medicine can be a wonderful thing, very, very sparingly. Let's see here. Maggie Smith says, the Ivor. Yeah, I know. Chadwick says, any advice for rheumatoid arthritis? I'm 34 and I've had it since I was 15. Guys, let's see. Does anyone have any advice for the rheumatoid arthritis? Because Chadwick has got it, and he is far too young to be having rheumatoid arthritis. So do we know of anything with our firsthand experience that could help? I mean, I have never had the rheumatoid, so I would definitely say hit up a master cleanse. I think maybe you have, or are you on the master cleanse right now? Right? Was that you? But hit up the master cleanse, man, and then learn about the diet, because in my opinion, the diet is what is, everything goes back to the diet, to what you put into the body, and the life force and the vitamins and the minerals and all of this stuff. And so if you need to discover what is the correct diet for you. Some people, the correct diet for their constitution is the vegan or vegetarian, no plant-based or no animal-based things, because maybe they've discovered over time and experimentation that their body reacts poorly to animal products, to meat and stuff like that. But then there are other people who react very, very positively to meat. I am one of these people, I found, but I only found this through the years of experimentation, of being vegetarian for 2 years, and of going without milk for several years, but then finding the raw milk, yes, and then and just observing and feeling inside the way that it is. And I have found now the ideal diet for me, yes. It is loads of red meat, raw beef liver, raw milk and cream, whole eggs, lots of whole fertilized eggs straight from the farm. Once I get land again, I'll be having chickens, cows, all the good stuff, goats, all the good stuff like we had back then in California. But it's all those things, but also on top of that, good, fresh, homegrown produce such as potatoes, sweet potatoes, winter squash, peas, beans. I got a pea and bean sheller, so I stock up on those. And onions and garlic. I eat onions and garlic pretty much every day. Every time I cook, almost everything has it in it. And it's all from the earth. It's all stuff I'm growing myself. And then, yes, of course, in season, things like leafy greens, mostly collard greens and cabbages. I eat loads of those in the couple of month season where they're abundant. I eat lots of that because that is how the body evolved to handle, is to eat with the seasons. Our body doesn't have to have, contrary to popular understanding that has been pushed onto us by supplement companies, you don't have to have every single vitamin and mineral every single day, because the body has a wonderful ability to eat with the seasons and gorge itself on what is available. I'm talking in the natural way, not preserved, whole in their natural state, to gorge itself on what is available, and then to store up adequate amounts of these things, and then to slowly sip on them over time. Yes? Big brain, that is so funny. A pitta, I am. That is very good, my friend. Yes. The doshas. And yes, I am this person, the pitta, which I only discovered over years of experimentation, and then following certain ways, and then, going extreme into it, only cooking in the Ayurvedic way for a long time, months on end. And so then now I implement certain things a la carte from all these different things, because like I've told you guys, I'm the kind of person that if I do something, I got to go 110%. So I have to know. So I have to go in full force, and that's how I discover these things. So that being said, you will want to find what works best for your body, and don't stop until you do, because our natural state, listen guys, our natural state is one of thriving. The universe or nature or natural selection or God or whatever you wish to call it, or this force, did not design us to feel sick and lethargic and be depressed and to feel like we're wandering aimlessly in life with no purpose, wondering why we're even here, waking up in the morning thinking, oh God, another day. Oh yeah. We were not designed to feel that way, guys. And once you accept that and understand that at the core and say, nature designed us, or whatever you want to call it, designed us to be thriving, just like all other animals. Nature, God never designed other animals to be sick and depressed and lethargic, except the ones that come under human care. Then they get depressed and sick and lethargic, but it's not the animal or natural selection's fault. So it is, we were never designed. We were designed to feel wonderful, to thrive, to wake up in the morning and say, okay, what do we got to do? What's going on? And then to eat something and feel light and energized, not to feel all, I got to take a nap because your blood sugar's all out of whack. That's why. If you get all tired after your meals, your blood sugar's whacked. And it's because you're probably, from your lifestyle, now insulin resistant. And so you have to look into all these things. But once we accept that we are designed to feel fantastic and to be healthy and to thrive, then we can start to say, okay, so what am I doing so why don't I feel that way then? That's the first question. Once we accept that, we go, so why don't I feel that way then? And you might have bouts of feeling that way, but why don't you feel that way like all the time? Because things are in the way. This is why. Ben Hudson says, don't knock the nap, Nate. Oh no, I totally am all about the nap. But you know what I'm talking about. Some people, after they eat, they just get, they have to, they can't stay awake. They can't do anything else. This is blood sugar issues. I'm not talking about wanting to take a little nap. Those are wonderful. But oh man, what was I just saying? Because I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, naps are wonderful though. But where was I saying? Yeah, where we are, if you're not feeling that thriving and all of that, then you can guarantee that it is because you are in the way, or you have done something. And I say you, meaning your lifestyle, your choices, your decisions, your relationships with people, the people you bring into your life, the things you're bringing into your body. All of those combined are getting in the way of what nature has, or God has already have intended for you. And that is to thrive and to feel wonderful and to be happy to be alive. And so you need to just get out of the way emotionally and physically with things like toxins entering the body. So you can cleanse and you can eat food that is in as close to its natural state as possible, full of life force, grown in the proper way, as to be rich in vitamins and minerals that are in a form that the body knows how to handle. Don't think that you're taking vitamins and supplements and you're going to be healthy, guys. Taking vitamins and supplements and thinking you are healthy is like taking out a loan and thinking you are rich. You understand? It's not real. And so the body doesn't really never evolve to deal with that kind of stuff, to get it from supplements and chemical forms and these weird combinations and stuff, and get it from your whole food. I don't take any supplements at all. I mean, none. Not a multivitamin, not a protein powder, not a fish oil, not a nothing. And I've never felt better ever in my life. But I used to be, like in my 20s and stuff, I was into bodybuilding. I was taking all kinds of supplements. I mean, just crazy. I was 240 pounds, I was all bodybuilding and stuff. And protein powders for like 4 times a day and all this stuff. But man, I look back and I just see it in my face, just toxins seeping out of my face and just like this. And I remember how I felt, how I just felt so lethargic all the time. So I had to take energy drinks and other stimulants, much more powerful. I had to take energy drinks and all kinds of stuff so I could counteract that, and then I had to take, because I was so wired, I had to take things to go to sleep, melatonins and Zambian, or what is the trazodone, that kind of stuff. So looking back at all of that, it's so clear to me now, but only because from here is no supplements, no protein powders, I just drink water, tea, coffee, real coffee in the morning, 1 cup, and 1 cup of tea in the afternoon at some time. And the rest comes from whole foods and fresh things that I grow myself. And that has just been proven, that is proving to be the best thing that could ever be designed, because I'm giving respect to the natural design of things. I'm not saying that, okay, human mind with our laboratories that can create these little multivitamins and all kinds of these chemicals and supplements and all that stuff, we know better than nature does. That's essentially saying we know better than God does. And I just don't think that's true. My experience tells me otherwise. And so what we do is we honor the Creator, and we honor it by saying, okay, I'm going to do what I've been designed to do, and that's live as naturally as possible with these things. And then you get to experience how good it feels. And not just in little bouts here or there, like when something happens in your life, but all the time. That's what's wonderful. So, okay, let me get some of these comments. Sweeping Page 184 says, what does your beef liver routine look like? I'm glad you asked, my friend. Let me hydrate. Oh, yeah. Okay. The beef liver routine is as such. It must be grass-fed, grass-finished. I say must, although still getting some is better than none, okay? But so find a source, okay? You can order it from online sources, but it can be very expensive. But it's so worth it. There is no more nutritionally dense food on the planet than liver. But you want it to be grass-fed, grass-finished. So I get it from a source where I've been to the farm and I've seen they grow their own hay, and these cows are just pastured. They live a wonderful life where they are just out at pasture. They're not just crammed into these tiny little things, force-fed a bunch of GMO corn and soybeans and all that, and oats, and like commercial grade cows are. Okay, so these are truly happy cows. I've seen them eating real food, and I've seen this. And so, because I even used some of the manure, and so I had to ask the person several times, so, okay, you don't spray this with any of the glyphosate with the Grazon or the 2,4-D, broadleaf herbicide. And as soon as I said that, she was like, no, we don't do any of that. This is just hay. It's just grass. I was like, okay, cha-ching. And so I get the raw beef liver from them, frozen. It comes to me frozen because they send their cows off to the packaging place, which is a local place as well. It's all wonderful, And so a locally owned business. And then it comes back to them in 1-pound packages, the raw beef liver. And so I get it frozen from them for a very fair price. And because it's kind of like, it's a little bit like maybe bootleg in the sense, I don't know, but however they work that out, but it's cheap, it's good, a good price. So anyways, then when I want to consume some, I will take it out of the freezer and let it thaw just for like about a half hour, and then I'll cut the 1 pound into 4 pieces, so they're 1/4 pounds. Okay, just thaw just enough so that you can get the knife through it. I use a big cleaver, really So then I put the other 3 quarter pounds, put those back into the freezer. And then the quarter pound that I took out, I will let it thaw. And then I will take it and slice it into small playing dice size cubes like that. Put it into a bowl and put maple syrup on top. And then real maple syrup, of course, not like Aunt Jemima's or log cabin syrup, but real maple syrup with the vitamins and minerals. But of course, you know what real maple syrup is. This is the Master Cleanse channel. And then I will simply take a spoon and, man, it is so good. And I started by just taking it like that and then taking a sip of water because it's a very, very unique texture. And it might take a moment to get used to it, but once the body experiences how nutrient dense this stuff is and full of energy and life force and all the good stuff, then the body is going to rearrange your taste buds and your thought patterns to now crave it and like it. Because it says, yes, this is what we want. So this is intuitive eating. This is how we're eating based upon intuition and how the body is telling us, okay, which is very different than like cravings and stuff like that. But all that's been out of my life a long time ago. I don't get cravings for anything, period, anymore. But like the beef liver, so I take it like that and the body loves this, okay? And if you do this just a couple times a week, start with once a week maybe, but I've done it at certain points every day, for a few days and then lay off for a couple of days. But it's fantastic, yeah. And but now that the body loves it, I will take it and I can actually chew it and I really can savor it. If you like sashimi, the raw fish and stuff, man, this is even more succulent, even more tender, and it's fantastic. So highly recommend it. Natalie Dumont says, what about superfoods such as shilajit, bee pollen, maca, phytoplankton, black cumin oil? Yes, absolutely. You can consume all of that in unlimited quantities, basically. The shilajit, very expensive. Yes, I experimented with that in Northern California. I can't say for certain what I felt from that. So I do know that it was very expensive, but I need to experiment with it now based upon who I am now, because I'll be able to tell so much more now than I did then. Bee pollen, I take all the time. So I get raw yogurt. Well, as raw as yogurt can be. You have to heat it up to 110, which is very, very not a lot. And then to make yogurt and stuff like that. But the milk is raw to be made. It's not pasteurized or homogenized or anything. And so then that's all you have to do to make yogurt. Did you know that? You just heat the milk up to 110 and then put in a spoonful of the yogurt from the previous batch and then kind of wrap it in a blanket and put it somewhere where it'll stay warm for a little while. And then like the next day, pretty much the whole thing has solidified into yogurt. It's really good. Then you can strain it with like a weight if you want more of a thicker, like a Greek type yogurt. But I will make a smoothie, out of the yogurt and some banana and some mangoes and then some cardamom. This is the key to that, guys. Banana, mango, the yogurt, and cardamom. And then a whole heaping teaspoon of bee pollen. And I will put that all in there. And it just has you feeling fantastic, man. Drink that for like a midday. It is so good. So let's see here. Vera Witch Lady says, why not make milk kefir? No heating required. Yes, I know. The heating for the yogurt doesn't necessarily destroy a lot of the benefits. So it's still very good to use the raw milk. But kefir is, to me, and I do that sometimes, but to me it is just so intensely champagne flavored. I mean, it is so effervescent to me that, and it literally tastes exactly like champagne to me. So when I'm drinking it, it's like explodes in the mouth, because yeah, Natalie says, wow, I would let the idea of raw beef liver sink in. Oh, you'll love it. Once the body is like, oh, we've been missing this. Maybe for our whole life we've been missing this. But yeah, the kefir is just, to me, it's like, poof, so intense. So the yogurt is so much easier to mix with stuff. It's not effervescent. And Let us see here. And Maggie Smith says Indiana grows a lot of GMO corn. The fields are full of deer. Wouldn't trust the deer meat anymore. Beef should be grass-fed and grass-finished. Absolutely, grass-fed, grass-finished. I know. And you're absolutely right, Maggie. That man, these deer around here too. When I went out or when I was living in Northern California, I couldn't. I was trying to tell people about the deer here, the whitetails, and how big they get, and they just couldn't even. They didn't believe me. But now I know it's from the GMO corn and soybeans and all that, and they just get enormous. And yeah, I mean, really, when you go hunting for deer around here, they are GMO, almost entirely GMO deer in these fields and stuff. You see them out after the harvest and stuff. You see them out in the fall just chowing down on all that GMO corn and soybeans. So, yeah. And let's see here. Stuart De Lamar says, I've been gifted 8 bales of round-baled hay, 2-year-old super dry stuff. Wow, 8 bales. That's quite a bit. So yes, you can do the heavy mulch system. You could also do the, like the Ruth Stout. You could do so many things, or just compost it. Clem Fandango, what's up, my friend? Says, fight the WEF and shop local. That's right. That's right, guys. At the end of the day, the only real vote that you have is with your dollars or with your currency of whatever you have. That is really the thing that will make the most impact. So, yes, try to, man, I don't even have to go to the store. I go to the store for certain things now, like cardamom spice. I go to the co-op, but the days of having to go to the store, well, what am I going to eat? Well, I better go to the store. And the veg and stuff, and the potatoes, the sweet potatoes, and the tomato sauces, and the peas, and all that stuff I make or I grow myself. And then, I have a direct relationship with the farm that raises the beef and the milk and all that stuff. So it's wonderful to just exist totally outside. I mean, not totally, but as much as reasonable while still living in the city, But once I get the land, man, I can't wait to take you guys with me on that massive journey. So, PA says, Nate, would you eat every animal's liver raw? I'm kind of transitioning to eat my poultry livers raw. I had a corner of raw rabbit heart the other day. Kind of all right. Okay, yeah. Heart, I would eat the heart of any animal, yes. Chicken livers are also very good, yes. They do not have the same nutritional composition as the beef liver, though. They do not. And this has been tested, and I've read these boring tests and all of this over the years. So the poultry liver is a little bit different, but you will definitely want to make sure that it's your own chickens or someone that you trust that's not, because do not eat commercial grade poultry livers. Any liver, really. You need to find grass-fed, grass-finished. But poultry for me is geese, duck, and chicken. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah. Of course. You're in Portugal, right? And so, yeah, that would be a big thing there. So if you trust the source, yes, I would eat that. No problem. Ben Hudson says, everyone should get out of the city, in my humble opinion. Yes, me too. But you don't always have the means at the moment to get out of the city. Yes. So you got to regardless, city or not city, you got to make the best with what you have available. That's the key. And so if once you adopt that as your mentality, I will make absolute best use of whatever I have available, then it doesn't matter where you go so much, you will thrive. So I'm confident wherever I go, in whatever situation, I will thrive. I'm confident of that. And because I know this is true, and I know because I've tested myself over the course of many years that this is true. But then you realize that it's a mentality, it's a state of mind, an energetic frequency that you carry with you that emanates from within you outwards. And it just makes everything work. Everything just works. And people are friendly to you. And everything just flows. It really does. And this is the truth. Shannon Lagros says, that's a nice last name, says, definitely looking to have land and animals and gardens also. Independent, great to connect, but better if it's a choice and desired, not a necessity for survival, like depending on systems. Right, absolutely. Yes, but the place, and most of you, I think, are from my gardening channel, and so you will understand that the vision that I have seen and that is coming of land, many, many acres, and it will be a school for people to come to. There will be all different kinds of classes. I mean, layers upon layers of classes: master cleanse, health, wellness, meditation, growing everything, homesteading, all of that stuff will be available for hands-on. Everything I've made videos about on this channel and the gardening channel will all be available in real life, which is just so much better. So yeah, that is what's coming. Not in the sense that, oh man, I want it to happen. I want it to happen. I mean, I do, but not in the sense that, oh man, I just can't wait for it to happen. In the sense that, no, I've already seen it. I've already seen it. And to those of you that visioneer and stuff, and then you will understand what I'm saying with this. So Jay Bremer says, heck yeah. Clem Fandango says, find like-minded individuals, collectivize, get out into the country and support each other, build your own community, and decentralize from the system. Could not have said it better myself. In fact, I have said that several times and will continue. Sharon says, I used to believe in supplements, not anymore. I realized that my kidneys were being destroyed, so I went drastic plant-based, and the only supplement I take is omegas because of joint issues. Yes, nice. Very nice. And so how about, have you tried incorporating sardines into your diet? Sardines are a vegetarian fish, and they are absolutely one of the greatest sources of the omegas, and they are in no danger whatsoever of being overfished because everyone is overfishing the tunas and all the predatory fish. And so the oceans are actually exploding with sardines. And so, and they last in the cans, or if you can get them fresh, that's best. But here in Indiana, we don't get fresh sardines. So, you get them in the cans, they last several years. And so, yes, that will be, that's a wonderful source of all of that stuff, and that's in the real way. PA says, but don't buy land together. I've seen enough people fall out and fail here around me in the 6 years being here. Absolutely. Couldn't have said that better as well myself. That's why 100% it will be my place. And it has to be that way, man. I made a promise to myself when everything came crashing down around me in Northern California and I barely escaped alive. I had to make a promise to myself that I would no longer build empires for other people, because I had been doing that for several years, investing so much of my life energy into building magnificent empires, beautiful things for other people that at the end of the day, whoosh, pull the rug out, you got to go. This whole thing, blah, 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 everything's crashing down. So, yeah, then I said, okay, well, thank you, Lord, for this learning experience, this very, very impactful learning experience. So thank you for this, because I will never make this mistake again. So, let us see here. I saw Jerry in here. What's up, my friend? Says, rate my liver, Nate. Curious about comparison. I actually haven't eaten that one yet. Jerry just gave me some wonderful liver from one of his cows. So I will let you know as soon as I do, though, because I already had one cut up in the freezer that I have to use. But your one will be next. Looking forward to it, man. And let's see. Someone says something about the 8A Gardening and Clay. Said, saw a pic of you on Mount Everest. You were at Mount Everest and you saw a picture of me and one of the huts leading up to it, or you saw? Yes, I've been there, definitely. It's magnificent. Check out my Travel Like a Viking channel where I sort of illustrate stories about that. But yes, that would be. Let's see. Katie Rudy says, "Where do you want to have your land, Nate?" It doesn't. I don't know yet. It needs to be a place. There's several parameters. I mean, really, I would like in Humboldt County somewhere, or Southern Oregon somewhere, or any place in Oregon, maybe somewhere wherever the redwoods grow is like an ideal climate for me. That's what I've been thinking. But also Southern Michigan or Central. I mean, really, so many places. even around here somewhere, there just has to be enough wildness left, and there has to be enough like the energy of the place. Around here, the energy of this kind of thing is not really happening yet. And so it's like I would like it to be. The land around here is just not wild anymore. It's been just killed. It's just been tamed for too long. So I need places where you can almost still drink out of the creeks, which is Northern California. I mean, beautiful wilderness left. And these kind of places, but also centrally located to like an airport or like a place where somebody would want to go anyways. People aren't coming to Indiana. People want to naturally go to the West Coast and things like that. So we'll see. I don't really know. I'm open to all different kinds of things, So let's see here. Daniel Harvey says, currently building empires for others as well, trying to get my investment seed and move on. Yeah, I know. That's how to do it, my friend. Okay. 8A Gardening and Clay says, on the web. Yes, that was me. No doubt about it. Natalie Dumont says, how often do you eat raw beef liver? Start with once a week. You can do twice, you can do 3 or 4 times a week. I've done it every day for a while, so it's really good. Pam, what's up, my friend, South African friend, says, I sent a message to John Jandai that Nate from Garden Like a Viking would like to get into contact with you. Thank you very much, my friend. Because yes, I feel like him and I need to do a collaboration of some kind. But his channel, he's got like 145,000 subs, and his videos get a lot of views and stuff. So and I'm finding this once on my other channel, not this channel, but on the other channel, once you reach a certain point, that there is just so many like comments and emails, and you're trying to get contacted all the time by so much people and stuff, that there's just a lot of stuff gets lost in the noise. So I'm still learning how to deal with all of that. I'm loving it, of course, but I'm still learning, okay, how do you sort out what is like pressing or important from all of this? So yeah, so that's why I'm like, guys, you should hit up John Jandai, because then maybe he'll hear that, a number of times. Then when I email him from Garden Like a Viking, then he'll go, oh, okay, then maybe that will, or whoever curates his account. I don't know, but let's see here. Ben Hudson says, you already are. I already am what, my friend? And let's see. Bodie McGee says, hi, everyone. Thanks for all the discussions. I wondered if you wouldn't mind sharing how you have found the strength to stick to your new diet. I find that I slip back into old ways every time. Yes, my friend, and this is actually a very, very common thing. And this is because people have not gone to the core of their subconscious. This is everything to do with it. This is why, and you can watch some of my older videos I made about the subconscious mind. Watch the videos that I made titled the playlist titled Nature of Reality. And then I made some about the subconscious, but I've even deepened my understanding so much since a couple years ago I was making those videos. But it's because people have not gone to the core of their subconscious. And that is the seat of all of your habits and your beliefs and your actions and even your thoughts. Yes, my friends, it is the source of your thoughts even. And so, and we can do sometime a journey where I can question you about things, and sort of you can investigate and see for yourself that you actually do not have any control whatsoever over your thoughts. You don't. I know that sounds crazy. But the conscious mind has no control over the thoughts. The only thing the conscious mind can be aware of is that a thought is present at this moment. Can you choose your next thought? Can you choose your next thought? Now, a lot of people will think, of course I can choose my next thought. No, I'm not talking about the thought you're having now. I'm talking about the next one. Leave the now, go into the future, and choose what thought will be the next thought. You can't do it, because by the time you realize what thought is there, it is already there. You can never go into any kind of future and to extract what the next thought's going to be. You're totally at the mercy of whatever the thoughts. The only thing your conscious mind can be aware of is that a thought is present at this moment. Yes. So this takes a lot of investigating. That was a real truncated sort of version of this. But once you start working with the subconscious mind and doing the practices that will, in a way, self-hypnotize. I know that's got a big stigma around it and stuff, but it's real simple, actually. In a way, sort of self-hypnotize, then you start to have the power to change everything. Once you visioneer a new reality for yourself and you utilize the book, things like the book Self-Mastery Through Conscious Autosuggestion by Emile Q, then once you start utilizing all of these things, then you will see that, wow, I'm changing the tide. I mean, totally changing from the core. Because that's what most people, they think, I'm going to go on a diet, but they haven't changed the image in the mind. The brain stores information as images, and they haven't changed the image that is in the mind. And so they keep going back because that's the default pattern. That's what the subconscious believes you are, is that person that is overweight or is sick or is failing health or whose kids don't respect them or who's an alcoholic or all of this. That's because at the core you are still believing this. And now the conscious mind will say, no, I want to be different. I want to be this other person. You haven't gone to the core yet, my friend. You need to go deep to the essence, to the source. And then you will see, whoa, okay, I still do have this image of myself as sick and not worthy of respect, because that's a deep-rooted belief I have of myself, is that I am not worthy. And this is the core. But I can't tell you any of this. You have to journey there yourself. It's like me telling you about a journey to Everest, yes, and what it was like and all of that. You can imagine what it's like, but you'll never know until you journey there yourself. And you have to journey there yourself. And then you will, once you change that mental picture, everything becomes effortless. You no longer have to try to stick to a diet because it comes from within as the obvious way to act. Your urges change. The urge that you have to eat this or that food actually changes. Or if it's any habits, any destructive habits that are not in line with the new image of what you hold in your mind of what you are. So if you're smoking or if you're drinking or if you're eating garbage or if you're kids don't respect you and all of that, well, that's because subconsciously you're doing things that make your kids not respect you, or that you're subconsciously doing things to make yourself fail and to continue smoking. So once you really crystallize this new image of what you are, then it all becomes effortless. You start doing things worthy of respect, just naturally. You don't even have to try. You start doing things. The thought of smoking disgusts you. I mean, literally, it will turn you off. It will disgust you. And so this is how you know that, okay, it's working. I'm using the practices and I'm getting to the core and it's all working. And then it compounds on itself and it just boom, 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 boom. And all these changes start happening in your life. And then you know, wow, I do have the power. I actually do have the power. So it's wonderful, my friends. That's a real sort of, brief overview of how you can do this. Look, Natalie says, can someone please type that book title? Yes, please type that for her. Self-Mastery Through Conscious Autosuggestion by Emile Q. Someone said they ordered the book earlier. I thought I saw that for a moment. Val says, my wild mind is all over the place at times. Monkey mind. Oh, yes. And if people don't understand the monkey mind, this is a very simple practice. Just sit down in a quiet place with no stimulation and focus on the breath. Just focus on the sensation of breath going in and out of the nose. That's it. Nothing else. No thoughts, nothing like this. Do not let any thoughts come into the mind, okay? Because, of course, the assumption is that I am in control of the mind. And so I can, if you're in control of the mind, then make it stop thinking for a moment, or for 20 minutes. Make it stop thinking for a half hour. Or if you're in control of the mind, make it focus only on the sensation of the breath. And you will find immediately the mind is boom, and you'll 1 or 2 or 5 breaths, and then all of a sudden you'll realize, whoa, it's been 20 minutes, and I just realized that I'm sitting here, and the mind is all over the place. But the good news is that you can take it all under control. You can take it all under control, And at first, this is what has to happen. You have to take it under control first before you let go of control, absolutely, to everything in your life. And that's the ultimate. So, Mom Computer, good to see you here, my friend. Says, hi, late but here. No harm in rewatching from the beginning a little later to catch up. Yes, and please leave your input in the comments below. If any of you guys are watching this after the fact, share your thoughts. You can be part of this as well. If you have ideas for next session, which will be, once again, Mondays at 12 noon Eastern time, then you can put them in the comments, and we'll try to get to them. You know, this whole thing is just free flowing. It's a flow of consciousness. So I'm not thinking about anything. it's just boom, boom, boom. So that's what it is. I feel like it's really useful. You know, it's really good practice, and it's good communion, and it's good everything. So Pam says, so Nate, would you call that false belief? Let's see. You're probably talking about the image that you had of yourself. Yes. I forget, because I didn't see that until right now. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but false belief would be, I'd have to actually think of that for a moment, because it's almost like there can't be a false belief, in the sense that what you believe is, yeah. We'll touch on that next time. So, Natalie says, I can choose where I focus my attention. Yes, this is true. You can choose where you focus your attention. At least it appears that way at first, definitely. And you can choose, because wherever attention goes, energy flows. Write that down, my friends. Wherever attention goes, energy flows. So if you are focusing your attention on how bad you feel and how unfulfilling your life is, then energy will constantly be flowing to the negativity in your life, to how bad you feel, and that will increase because you're giving it energy. But if you instead cut off that energy, and you put by redirecting your attention to the positive things in your life, then yes, the attention goes there, the energy is flowing there, and that will build. Anything that is receiving energy is growing, is building, is becoming more. It's like the energy from the sun. So our attention is like the sunlight for the plants. Yes. So, okay, my friends, we are getting to the end here. I like this to be about an hour long. Let's see here. Clem says, Nate, do you have any plans to get back to making the travel videos, or does the gardening channel take up too much time? Yes. And someone said, PA said, so I plan to do that in the fall. I know I said that last fall, but I was under the assumption I was going to be making videos twice a week, all on the gardening channel, and I did, like, all winter long, but they didn't do very well because people aren't like gardening during the wintertime. So I think I'm just going to back it off, on the gardening channel. I'll still do the lives and stuff, but no, I want to hit up the, I'm going to do like one a week of the, starting probably about last frost, something like that, or first frost, and continuing through the wintertime, because man, that is a story that is just really needs to be told. It's just wanting to be told, and I feel like so many people can relate to it, and so many people can benefit from these experiences, and that's what it's all about. So, and Salma Aki says, good afternoon, Nate. I'm a bit late. Yes, you are. Going to rewatch. Okay, good. But 32 weeks pregnant and feeling very spiritual and alive. All right, my friend. Let us all collectively at this moment, if you're listening, and even if you're listening afterwards, send the positive energy, send the love towards Salma Aki and her baby that is within her at this moment. 32 weeks. All right. So we send you the positive energy and the love, my friend. I wish you health, you and the baby health and prosperity. Yes. So, this is wonderful. It's really good being here with you guys. So Ursula says, maybe that is why we feel connected even over live stream. We are all engaging and our attention is pooled together. Absolutely. We are focusing on the one thing and we feel connected even over these distances, because ultimately, and this is for future videos, but ultimately there is nowhere but here. There is no time and space. I know, and that is thinking, what? But it's actually not that complex, and we'll get into that someday maybe. But yes, this is what I know to be true, my friends. And so, okay, we will talk next time. So if you be here at 12 noon on Mondays, and then be at the gardening channel at 12 noon on Saturdays. And so don't forget to like the video, give it a thumbs up. Maybe we'll gather some more people into this tribe right here, which would be great. But if not, okay, that's okay too. So thank you guys for stopping by, and I will see you next time, my friends.